Swadika, good morning and welcome to Newsline. I'm Cholapansa Narula. Thank you very much for joining us this Wednesday morning. It's January 13th of 2016. Let's take a look at today's news. In Thailand moves forward, our first story, the cabinet has resolved to assist rubber farmers by buying 100,000 tons of rubber and setting up a committee to find sustainable solutions for the ailing industry. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha announced that a decision was made at this week's cabinet meeting to purchase a combined 100,000 tons directly from planters to maximize their profits. Officials from 8 ministries have been tasked with the rubber procurement. The rubber must come from new lots rather than stockpiles. The Prime Minister said the buying price has not been set but will be slightly higher than the market. He said the rate will have to be negotiated between the government and the farmers. The Prime Minister also disclosed that a 15-member committee is being formed to draw up measures to address issues in the rubber industry in a sustainable manner. 8 members have already been appointed and the remaining 7 will be representatives of the farmers. The Cabinet has also given a green light to the 10-year housing development plan aimed to help low-income earners. Government spokesperson Major General Sansern Kaew revealed that Cabinet approval was granted to a 10-year housing development plan for 2016 to 2025, which will help provide new homes for approximately 2.7 million impoverished families. The plan will be implemented in parallel with the National Economic and Social Development Plan and the government's policy for the administration's remaining term of 1 year and 6 months. During the meeting, the Cabinet insisted that the construction of housing facilities can begin immediately in places deemed fully ready, such as those along Lat Phrao Canal and also in Dindang area. The project has been placed under the supervision of Deputy Prime Minister and Defence Minister General Prawit Wongsuwan and is expected to begin this year. The government is preparing to announce the progress of solutions to illegal fishing tomorrow before representatives of the European Union travel to Thailand to follow up on the matter. Government spokesperson Major General Sansern Kaew said after the cabinet meeting on Tuesday that Deputy Prime Minister General Prawit Wongsuwan spoke about the progress made in Thailand's illegal fishing situation. The Deputy Prime Minister said the country has made significant headway in the enforcement of fishing regulations, the registration of fishing vessels, and the installation of onboard tracking devices. The Cabinet agreed to instruct relevant units to announce the results of their efforts to combat illegal fishing to Thai and foreign media at the Government House tomorrow. They are expected to report on any legal action in illegal fishing cases and listen to opinions of the relevant parties. The Cabinet also approved the Ministry of Labour's proposal to prohibit minors under the age of 18 from working in primary seafood processing plants and a bill on human trafficking trials. The National Legislative Assembly will soon be deliberating the proposed setting up of a new committee to work on the promotion of peace, while the CDC, or the Constitution Drafting Commission, affirms that the new charter will protect people's rights. The National Legislative Assembly whip meeting, which was the first of this year and chaired by First Vice President Surathai Liengbunlerchai, spent its time on the consideration of 8 agendas for the main meeting of the legislature. Among them were the draft law on the setting up of corruption courts, the draft amendment of the Bankruptcy Act, the draft royal enactment related to the tax collection under the Thai revenue law, and the setting up of a special committee in charge of the study on the promotion of peace in the society. In addition, NLA member General Akanit Moonsawat has also proposed that the meeting discuss the draft of the amendment of the Public Sector Anti-Corruption Commission under the Executive Measures in Anti-Corruption Act BE 2551. As for the new charter, the Constitution Drafting Commission, or CDC, has assured that there have not been any attempts to infringe on people's rights under the new charter. CDC spokesman Udom Ratha-Amarit said that the charter drafters have not done anything to infringe on the people's rights to protection, as some critics have claimed. His comments was in response to allegations that the CDC's draft constitution is different from the constitutions enacted in 1997 and 2007, particularly because the people's rights, including human rights, are no longer endorsed and protected. The CDC spokesperson explained that the clauses related to these rights have only been moved to the general section of the draft charter, while assuring that all rights of Thai citizens will continue to receive complete protection. Turning to our next story, the Ministry of Public Health will accelerate its agenda of eliminating leprosy from Thailand by ramping up its screening measures. The Ministry's project is entitled The Campaign to Search for Leprosy Patients. The project is meant to honor the wishes of His Majesty the King and commemorate His Majesty's 70-year reign. The Ministry will accelerate the search for new patients for treatment before the disease results disability. The project aims to reduce new cases to no more than 100 patients and no more than 20 new people with disabilities due to leprosy. Thailand has been endorsed by the World Health Organization for its effectiveness in consistently reducing the number of new patients since 1994. As of 2014, a total of 208 new cases were discovered, of which 31 patients had notable disabilities due to their late treatment. The ministry suspects that there are still people suffering from leprosy that have gone undiagnosed. The initiation of the ASEAN Economic Community has stoked concerns that Thailand could see an influx of foreigners infected with leprosy. Therefore, the Ministry of Public Health has intensified its preventative measures to cover all sectors. The Ministry of Science and Technology and the National Science and Technology Development Agency, or NSTDA, have organized an event to increase the competitiveness of businesses by using Innovation and Technology Assistance Program. The event introduced entrepreneurs to new technological breakthroughs that benefit their operations. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Science and Technology, Dr. Weerapong Pasuwan, officiated at the event and handed out awards to top 5 companies that have successfully implemented innovation and technological assistance. The winners are Dairy Home Company, SPM Feed Mill, SBP Timber Group, Mastercool International, and Compact International 1994. The ITAP, or the Innovation and Technology Assistance Program, the campaign's main objective is to promote the use of appropriate innovations and technological assistance in order to improve performance and the potential of business operations, especially small and medium-sized enterprises. As the drought situation continues and is expected to worsen, Thammasat University, along with some sage villages, have recently recommended a new strategy for planting rice to deal with water shortages. Kun Yonridi Tuwayong reports.
To measure a country's richness in natural resources, especially that of Thailand, one can look at an annual rice production. Thailand is a naturally rich nation with ample sources of fresh water. However, in recent years, recurring drought has worsened along with unusual weather patterns that have directly affected rice plantation, as farmers cannot access enough water to supply the fields. Hoping to help farmers, Boy Unpagon School of Development Studies, Thammasat University, has cooperated with farmers in Phitsanulok province to introduce a water-saving method of rice growing, one which only uses 500 cubic meters of water, decreasing the water needed by 3 times the normal usage, while increasing output to 6 tons a rye. Chemicals and fertilizers are no longer needed.
ข้าวเนี่ยมันก็มีมันเป็นพืชที่ทนน้ำได้ดี
You see, rice is a cereal that can withstand water submergence, but it doesn't require as much water as we always thought it did. In fact, it's natural for all plants and animals to learn to adapt to their environment, and rice, when planted in a flooded field, grows quickly to to raise itself above the water level, and minerals obtained from the ground are mainly used for the purpose of rapid growth, rather than being utilized to bear more kernels.
The steps to reduce water usage while obtaining greater produce are simple. First, you should drain the water from the paddy field and use dry leaf and dung to fertilize the soil. Then plant 50-day-old rice sprout in the paddy field with 40 to 50 centimeter space between each hole. The key is not to use the traditional waterlogging method, but water the crop only at certain times, just as when growing other types of vegetable plant. This method allows each sprout greater access to nutrition, and while no longer having to grow quickly to survive, the supply of nutrition therefore shifts toward bearing more grain per plant, while the rice plant being more separated and no longer waterlogged has a reduced number of bugs, which means no chemical repellent is required. Through this adjustment in rice plantation, farmers were able to save tremendous amount of water, a great solution for rice plantation during this prolonged period of drought. I'm Yonadi Huwong for NBT World.
Thanks to Kun Yonadi for that story. Meanwhile, Bangkok authorities held a meeting to discuss ways to mitigate the drought situation in Klong Samwa district and help farmers grow alternative crops. Bangkok Governor Mom Ratchawong Sukhumpan Boripat chaired the meeting, which was attended by officials from the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives and the Royal Irrigation Department. The meeting resolved to increase the efficiency of both agricultural production and irrigation. Another objective is to switch to crops with higher market value, given the high cost of living in the capital. Rice farming dominates land use in Klong Samwa district, but dwindling water reserves have prompted Bangkok authorities to intervene. The Bangkok governor said the issue was discussed 5 years ago, but officials did not anticipate the severity or urgency of the situation. The Royal Irrigation Department has reported that water reserves nationwide are low. Water levels have fallen to 37% at Phumipon Dam, 50% at Sirikit Dam, 42% at Kwa Noi Dam, and 55% at Pasak Cholasit Dam. Chiang Mai is preparing to organize LANA EXPO 2016. That's coming up next, right after these messages.
Maintain a strong nation, Thailand is promoting 12 core values for the good of the people. The second core value, being honest, sacrificing, showing restraint and determinations in doing good for the majority.
ASEAN Community. ASEAN member countries have agreed that the main part of the ASEAN community is its people. People are therefore to be the central focus. ASEAN Political and Security Community. In terms of politics and security, ASEAN promotes democracy, the principle of law, and good governance that protects fundamental human rights and freedoms accordingly. In terms of the economy, ASEAN gives priority to every section in society. For example, it promotes small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, and supports more public-private partnerships. A study of the social effects of the expansion of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. 3 issues are: 1. Problem of laborers' migration. 2. Problem of ensuring security against new forms of crime. And 3. Problem of providing social welfare wherever needed. One vision, one identity, one community.
Hello there, you're watching Newsline. The northern province of Chiang Mai is gearing up to host the LANA EXPO 2016 in June and July, hoping to boost local entrepreneurs' competitiveness following the opening of ASEAN Economic Community. Chiang Mai Governor Pawin Chamni Prasad convened a meeting with relevant officials at the Provincial City Hall to follow up on the progress of preparations being made for the LANA EXPO. To be held for the fourth time this year, the event is scheduled for June 30th through July the 6th at Chiang Mai International Exhibition and Convention Center. The expo will offer visitors various types of products and services, including tourism products, industrial crafts, and health services. There will also be exhibitions showcasing the potential of entrepreneurs in the Upper Northern Provincial Cluster in various aspects, along with academic seminars. The attendants at the meeting expect the LANA EXPO to help enhance local operators' capabilities and give them a competitive edge against others in the ASEAN community era. More discussions will be arranged concerning other details of the expo, such as zoning and the tackling of problems compiled from previous events. Several government agencies have joined together to organize the Thailand Yacht Show 2016 to showcase innovative super and luxury yachts in Phuket. The yachting event aims to support government policy to promote Thailand as the marina hub of ASEAN, as well as stimulate Thailand's economy and tourism sector committed to raising the national growth. Tourism and Sports Minister Gopkan Wattanawarangkoon said that Thailand Yacht Show 2016 will stimulate the industry and support other upcoming international events this year, such as the 19th Bay Regatta, Cape Panwa Hotel Race Week, the Asian Yachting Grand Prix, and Asia Super Yacht Rendezvous. The Phuket event is expected to generate no less than $200 to $400 million in tourism-related earnings.
We believe that the super yacht business in Thailand will bring about the connectivity of Thailand with another part of Asia Pacific. And this is very important because this is a policy of our government.
Mr. Akom Termpithaya Phaisit said Thailand's marine leisure is a huge draw for tourists, both domestic and international. However, laws and regulations for foreign super yacht visits may have to be amended. The Ministry of Transport will discuss the matter with the Marine Department, the Customs Department, and the Revenue Department, among others. Such efforts will reflect the government's policy to manifest Thailand's potential for becoming a marina hub of ASEAN and to promote Thailand as a base of operations for super yacht charters.
The repair and maintenance, but also the hotel resort, and also the employment for the local people. And beyond that, we also get benefit from having the more yachts coming to Thailand.
Thailand Yacht Show 2016 will be held from February 8th till the 14th, 2016. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha will preside over the opening ceremony on February 11th at Ao Po Grand Marina, Phuket. For more information, please visit their website at thailandyachtshow.com. In other news, UN official Jacob L. Hillier says many more will die if the world does not move faster on helping starving Syrian towns. An aid convoy on Monday brought the first food and medical relief for 3 months to the western town of Madaya, where 40,000 people are trapped by encircling government forces.
We saw people who are severely malnourished, especially children. We saw people who are extremely thin, skeletons that are now barely moving, and we saw people who are evidently having been going without food, at least regular access to food, for a very long time. And that is the message we are also bringing out. The plight of the people we saw yesterday, and I'm quite confident that this is the same in any of these settings where siege is being used as a tactic of war.
El Hilio, the UN resident and humanitarian coordinator in Syria, told of heartbreaking scenes when the aid convoy made it to Madaya on Monday. The World Health Organization said it had asked the Syrian government to allow it to send mobile clinics and medical teams to Madaya to assess the extent of malnutrition and evacuate the worst cases. Negotiations to get into Madaya and the other two villages near Idlib were lengthy and difficult. There are currently about 15 siege locations in Syria where 450,000 people are trapped. Turkish police detained 59 suspected Islamic State militants in raids across 5 different provinces, although it is unclear whether the raids are linked to the deadly suicide bomb attack in Istanbul earlier in the day. Police took part in raids at 22 separate addresses, mainly across the southeast provinces of Sanliurfa, Gaziantep, and Adana. 21 people were detained in raids in Sanliurfa alone on suspicion of links with Islamic State, the radical Sunni militant group who have been blamed for the attack in Istanbul that left 10 people dead, mainly German tourists. There was no immediate claim of responsibility, but Islamist, leftist, and Kurdish militants who are battling Ankara in southeast Turkey have all carried out attacks in the past. Turkey has become a target for Islamic State, with 2 bombings last year blamed on the radical Sunni Muslim group in the town of Suruk near the Syrian border and in the capital Ankara, the latter killing more than 100 people. Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro told his oil minister to reactivate all talks with OPEC and non-OPEC oil-producing nations following Tuesday's 4% drop and 7th day of losses for oil. An oil price recovery would be positive for recession-hit Venezuela, an OPEC member where roughly 96% of hard currency income derives from oil. Oil fell briefly below $30 a barrel on Tuesday, extending a relentless sell-off that has wiped almost 20% off prices this year. Traders have all but given up attempting to predict where the new year rout will end, with momentum-driven dealing and overwhelmingly bearish sentiment engulfing the market. Some analysts warned of $20 a barrel. Standard Chartered said fund selling may not relent until it reaches $10 a barrel. The long list of negative factors also includes the weakening economy and ailing stock market of China, the world's second largest consumer, the rising US dollar, which makes oil more costly, and the surprising resilience of US shale drillers in the face of the price slide. And that's all the time we have for today's edition of Newsline. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. If you do have any suggestions or comments, please feel free to write them to us. The email address is now appearing on your screen. Today we say goodbye by presenting you some lovely pictures of a newborn penguin in Ohio Zoo. The penguin was named after late rock star David Bowie. I'm Chalapan Sanarula. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Newsline. Have a good one. Sawasdee ka.